Welcome to this first in a series of educational videos that I intend to make to explain how to take advantage of the levels and tools we provide. With this first video today, we will start with a recap of what could be done yesterday, April 20, 2025. With the tools we have available, we will use the NASDAQ as a tool. And well, obviously, and I have uploaded indicators both that you all have access to by subscribing to Patreon and joining the Naughty at the Canon Where the House Discord channel. The indicators I will show you today are Anchor Lean Reg, which you can download, just request it on Discord. These are, let's say, default inputs that you leave as they are. And here you put the input I provide in the initial string. For example, this is the NASDAQ. In short, this string, well, the string for today that you see here. So you obviously put in 68,000. So the reference we have here, perfect as a line, as a volume level, perfect. Having said this, then the other indicator I loaded is the VLC indicator, which is the one that colors the candles, signaling volume peaks. For the NASDAQ, the setting is 10,000. You have all the files available. It's also on the website Killpips.com. So this one here is fixed. This other indicator that everyone can have for free. And then there's the Clip EP's Assistant 2.0. the new version, where of course we have the input with the slot to insert the string that you can copy and paste with or without the initial ticket. And as proximity points for the NASDAQ, I use 5 points, meaning when it is close to the level by 5 points, it signals me anyway. Obviously, we are not chemists. The level can be off by 1 or 2 points. So for the NASDAQ, 5 points are fine. For example, on other assets like, for example, on the S&P, you can use 2. Okay, so here, you enter the string here. We can choose the text size, how to move it, if we want the text more shifted to the right, etc. Then, by entering the string here, all the levels of the string are plotted on the chart. Okay, this is yesterday's string. Obviously, I make a bar selection. I will start from midnight of Tuesday. Okay, perfect. This was the situation we had at the close. So we can go and see all the operations that the PISPAP suggests to us based on the theory and strategy that you can learn from the book available on Amazon, where the basic concepts are explained. So the key concepts, the agreements that I monitor and that I have tried to instruct Tomorsa, not all of them obviously, because programming is not my strong suit. I strive to provide you with these tools to facilitate your use of the strategy and the levels, but I am committed, so I will definitely make modifications and try to improve it further. Okay, with that said, let's start with the replay. If we look bar by bar, here it already gives us a first counter to a short on the level test after touching around midnight, 12:25. If it goes to touch, you see, I'll enlarge it a little bit for you so you can. At the moment it went to test the level from below. It offers us a counter to a short as per strategy. Okay, perfect. Let's see. Well, this contrarian short, well, in the area of 17,920, which was exactly the opening trade. We also had this nice channel that could tell us that from 920 here, well, at the 892, it had given 30 points. We were on the lower part of the channel, which was still an upward channel, because you see it colored green when it's an upward channel, nice, strong, because all 3 lines are green. Whereas when the trend is a bit weaker, you can see it from those upper and lower lines. they turn yellow, so they warn you that the trend, well, is a bit less strong, okay? So in this case, you could have comfortably closed with a 30-point gain and then waited. Then it signaled the break on this candle here, okay? At 145. Which brings you to these two staggered hours here, because I couldn't, as I said, I'm not a wizard in programming, and I couldn't fix this thing. And so it gave us this nice long on the break of HW because it happened under certain characteristics. It also broke the previous high and gave us the long, so starting from 19. No. Well, here it gives you obviously the level, because it has this level stored in memory, but imagine an opening at this level here. So when the signal occurred on this candle, so 17, 9 and 70, you could go all the way up here to 18,014. They were high by 30 to 40 points. We are talking about the early hours of opening, therefore during nighttime when there are usually low volumes. Let's see now how it went. You can see that a new channel is being built. Even more bullish, so this gives us hope. In break that occurred on this candle, it gives us the long trend break of RD0 plus an HW. Okay, we see that the market went a bit higher, so RD0, we broke it here. On this 18,035, it ended at 18,060, so another 30 points, which could have been 25, 30 points. In short, these are the quick and fast operations that need to be done in this case. Here it is signaling a reversal. I extend, because the price had gone up, it had broken through, it went on a long reversal, so in this case with a head from above, it is signaling a long reversal. Which in this case did not go because the level was breached. But immediately after, it signaled the break of the RD0 level on this candle here. So an opening here at 17,788 brought another 30-40 points. These are the quick operations to be done carefully following the flow of the price movement, following the trend that the channel also takes, which helps you a lot in understanding how the price is moving. And in addition, you have the levels as a reference, and the operation here can help you in reasoning to apply the strategy. Let's move on. So it gave us this short trend from RD0. Let's see. Okay, now let's pause for a moment. Let's do a recap. Let's take a moment to this spot. Here, it made the break. Let's see. You see, here it's signaling a contrary to long because there was the break, the retest, still contrary to long from 18 to 0.35, which went great. And here we are talking about around the opening of the European markets. It was the 9 in the morning, a nice long from 18,1043 to 18,033, 1866. In short, even wanting to exit here at 1836, it was a nice clean 100 points in 2 candles in 10 minutes. Let's move forward here. Then there's obviously the area attempted the break. There was no hold. The candle broke immediately. It signaled the short trend with the break of RD1, which even here from 129 could be done down to 100, 118, 800, that is 1890, 090. You decide, because obviously we re-entered, this operation could also have been skipped. I'm not saying you have to do everything that I do with the operations, it signals. However, if I decide to work, it can certainly be helpful to you. I repeat, in the application of the strategy we move forward, I wanted to. We see that the trend has gone. Then short, and it leaned on the median of the regression channel, automatically traced by ankle ring reg. Now you see it dashed because it is nearing completion, so it signals to you that soon another one will emerge. In short, another channel will begin. And so this is another warning you have. Okay, perfect. Let's see. If I always look there, because obviously I haven't prepared anything. Here is the new channel. You see that it is already starting to turn a little red, so it somewhat confirms this trend leading to a test of RD0. Okay, in this area. Here you then see the channel. How does it start to change from red to yellow? Then it starts to straighten out. So it indicates that the volume is rebalancing at this moment, which this channel is tracking for us. So the volumes that are within this of this, this of this, of this, this of this, this of this, of this, of this, this of this, of this, of this, of this, this of this, of this, of this, of this channel are rebalancing upwards. Because we have the lower yellow and two greens, the median and the upper one. So much so that the price from RD0, which was the area we were interested in, well, in short, it did not touch. So it did not indicate the opposite at an RD0. Because the price, as I was telling you, did not actually reach to touch. 45. Here it is 34. If it had reached within the 5 points I showed you at the beginning, it would have indicated it. So maybe, well, if I had set it to 20, it would have also indicated this long. So in short, here we have to take what it gives us, but well, within the logic of the strategy. This long was entirely justified. So let's see how it will end now. Here it is. In short, we arrive at on RD1. There's the market opening. We are now at 3:30, okay? Past 9:30. And at American time, 9:30, American markets are opening. In short, obviously in these phases, as I always say, wait a moment for them to fight it out in the first candle. I usually never trade in the first candle, I wait for the subsequent ones. In the subsequent ones, we had this trend, this break of the DRD1 with the retest of this candle here. And a new long trend started, nice, accompanied by the channel, which you see had turned green. This upper one, by now the volumes are starting to be more. The channels become shorter because the volumes have started to increase and thus develop in less candles. But you can see how well it is drawn. This one here is already nearing completion, which has brought prices from RD1 to RD2. Here it is with a test of RD2. A new break has made the break, and at this moment you see how it first made the break and signals the opposite to long. Thank you. The opposite because the price comes against us. Okay? Which, in short, it didn't immediately go due to the volatility. The level was breached, it went to rest on the previous highs, and then the long started, which brought prices into the US VIX area in the VIX cluster, where it immediately signaled the opposite, short from 18 to 501, which is practically, it was yesterday's VXR1. Let's see how this went. Contrarian short, you see that the channel weakened, this next one then immediately shot down like a rocket with volume coming in, so a beautiful contrarian short from 501 to closing it here at 349, a nice 150 points. But it would have been foolish, which I appreciate if these volumes indicated by the VLC coming in were seen. So at this point with a bearish channel, it would have been foolish. Perhaps one could even have increased at this level and thus held this position, maybe with bearish targets or perhaps following it with a trailing stop. Okay, you see more then. Suddenly it arrived at these. Let's take a closer look. Okay, perfect. Once we got here, the channel concludes. This channel begins to form, starting as bearish. Then it completely turns around. It completely turns around and gives us, in short, a new bullish impulse. And so probably here. We have arrived here. The indicator signals this short trend to us, which perhaps could also be attempted to avoid, maybe to not do, or perhaps wanting to do it. Let's see. Let's see how it went, because after all, there had been an impulse. Do you see that there was some noise? Because after all, I repeat, we are experiencing days of very high volatility. So once it got here, it hesitated, then attempted here. The break, thank you. It went back down, broke the level again, and signaled the short trend to us. Switch now. Anyway, went from 340 down to 260. Let's see if it went further. The channel was guiding us. Then at these minutes, the channel started to reverse. So it was indicating an incoming weakness. Weakness then concluded with this nice candle that retraced. 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 previous candles that had attempted this decline and brought prices back to break R of 2 again. Okay, so where are we here? Practically at the close. You can also use the levels from the previous day, even in the early stages, then at the opening of the next day. In short, I'm referring to those who might have different time zones than mine, and I'll show you. You see how well, let's go back a moment here. Okay, obviously there was the close. There is the close. Okay, we had anyway. Well, a bit of positivity given by this channel that was turning bullish, so in the accumulation of these volumes. Then it turned negative with the opening. Well, with the gap, you see how the indicator continues to work, of course, and in this case, it indicates a short trend from break swoboda range. Max, well, here before that anyway, thank you. It gave other operations, let's be honest. The movement was quite fast. It gave us here a contrary short on VA. Okay, which didn't go. Then it gave us a break long from VA to the broken max range, re-entered contrary short. Perfect. On the VAH test, another long. You gave it to from the VA. Then there was the break of VA. So on this candle, the short from here 676 to 630. So you can work on it calmly. This, in short, I have to show you. Here the new channel started to form, which led to the long break test, always from VA. We see that it is working. The channel reaches the break of max range. And so the trend remains long. Then we are almost arrived at the current moment. Here it is. It stopped because by now we are live beyond yesterday's max range. Then obviously with today's levels, you can continue to work on the wave of this move. So I hope this video can be useful to you. If you have any questions, you can easily ask them in the chat. And as always, thank you all for your attention.